Welcome to Shadow Daddy Groupies. I'm Raven.
And I'm Kelly. And today we are talking about the second installment of the Spit and Swallow series duet completed
Split.
duology. What?
Split and swallow.
Spit.
No, it's split.
It is? No way.
Yes,
Well, I read spit.
it's split. I know. I said that a million times. I was like, it's a typo, but no.
No, all right. Okay, it's called Between Two Kings by Lindsey Straub. And I actually feel like I did a pretty good job of writing a no spoiler summary this week. I know I've put a lot of my own opinions in the summary lately, but I tried to not because I have a ton of opinions that I will get into later. So, are you ready? Ready. Okay. All right. So, Tem has chosen. She begins her life with Caspin as a half human, half basilisk hybrid and Caspin's queen. She has sent Leo to find happiness with his first love, Evelyn. This should be Tem's happily ever after. So, why can she not stop thinking about her love for Leo? Tem is having a difficult time adjusting to basilisk culture, except all the sex that her and Caspin have. She is torn between what she as normal and moral as a human and how different that is to what basilisks believe. While Tim is trying to mend the rift between the humans and the basilisks, it seems at every turn she is making the wrong decision. She finds new friends, new enemies, new temptations. But the strongest tug is still to Leo, especially after she meets Evelyn, who's preparing a wedding to Leo. This book, though similar to the first in the amount of spice, had a different feel that I am still trying to put into words. And everyone seems to have an opinion about the ending, so stay tuned for ours.
Trigger warnings. Violence and war, captivity, power imbalance, emotional manipulation, trauma and grief, explicit sexual content, jealous, possessive dynamics. Vibe, dark, tense, morally gray, romance with survival stakes.
Okay, I feel like I have overshadowed the last couple of episodes with all my opinions, so maybe you should go first.
It was
Raven, what did you think of this book?
a lot more voyeurism,
Mm-hmm.
lot of group activities. Tim is a whiny little shit. I was like, girl, just do it. Just do it. I would. I mean, how hard is it? Like, I would gladly. And then, what's the basilisk, the Alexandria or whatever her name is? His ex-girlfriend, the one that he was formerly engaged to.
Oh, her friend.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but she is a huge part of the book. I don't know why I can never remember anybody's
Well,
name.
good choice for the little chain thing.
Oh, yeah. So it's called an Ouroboros. And you know how there's this, it's a thing. It's like a dragon or a snake eating its own tail.
Hmm.
And a lot of different books use it as symbolism. Oh, Alchemized used it as a form of symbolism. And so in because they're snakes, basilisks during mating season create an Ouroboros, which I have never seen the Human Centipede movie. I never will. But when they first described it, all I could think about was the Human Centipede.
I think that probably flashed through my head at 1 second, and then I literally was
Because
like,
it is a
wait.
mouth to private area circle.
I was like, so you don't want Caspin's wiener in anybody's mouth but yours, but you want his mouth on someone's wiener. I was like, what decisions are we making, Tim? But I rode with it. I rode with it. I like the fountain.
You
The
liked the
cum
fountain.
fountain?
Okay. Um, yeah, the cum fountain. That was interesting as well. So, okay, I have to say that probably for like the first 60-ish percent of this book, I I loathed this book. Like I was like, I cannot DNF another book. Like I really wanted to. I had in my head, I was writing the most scathing review about how much I hated this book. And you had finished it before me and you said that you liked it. And I was just about to come on here and just destroy this book because I disliked it so much. When you said that Tim is a whiny character, like that is an
Nope, I'm
understatement.
done.
I felt like Tem was a whiny character. I didn't like the way that she was writing Caspin. I loved Caspin in the first book, and I feel like she was doing him a complete disservice in this book. I was like, what the fuck is going on with Caspin? I Stop doing this
I
to
didn't
poor
even like
Caspin.
Leo.
Leo was not, it was kind of falling flat.
Oh my
He
God.
wasn't there for a while, and the writing was atrocious. Okay, you know how when they teach you to write in high school, grade school, and they tell you to show and not tell? I almost started writing them down because so many times the formula for this woman's writing was to tell, don't know wait, to show, to tell, and then tell you again like you were an idiot. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, but you do not need to use a
Oh,
metaphor and then explain it to me and then to explain it to me again. I got it the first
elaborate.
time. Like, what? Stop. There, like this first 60% needed to be cut in half. Like someone needed to take a red pen and just be like, stop over explaining every metaphor you use. I was so upset. I was having a meltdown. I was like, if this woman does this one more time, I'm not an idiot. I was just
Yeah,
ready. I was ready to throw the book out the room.
it
And
was
then
going great. And then when Rowan, that was freaking nuts. Oh my God, the what is it called? Where the grotto.
the grotto.
Grotto. With the brother. You met the brother. You finally met his
Okay,
brother.
so then there was this other character, Apollo, his brother, who was sort of unlikable, but you kind of wanted to like him. And then about like 90% of the way in the book, he just flipped. He became a different character. That was not my favorite part. I but I have to say that in the last like 40% of the book, it got way better. And I don't know exactly when it changed when, okay, here's where it changed for me is when they started doing the Queen trial thing. What did they call it? Do you
Where they
remember?
where they were like the sex trial for
They contested the marriage, and so she needed to have sex with 11 people or,
and
12 people
Rowan's
or
golden
something.
dick.
And Rowan's golden cock.
This
Which
probably
kind
sounds
of
so
was like,
ridiculous, but this is real. It's a real book.
and I mean, I thought it was going to be a little bit more drawn out. Like there's a trial, right? There's a trial in the first book where it's like a little like The Bachelor, right? All these women are vying for Leo's hand in marriage. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more like that, but no, it was just 11 men lying down in a row, and she just sat. Just I don't know why, but that was like the better part of the book.
I mean, I'm kind of mad that the actual climax of Apollo and her happened there. I mean, yeah, I am the one off for voyeurism, and I should have loved it, but I was like, man, they could have had such a very like climactic moments without being in front of his brother. But then I guess
Yeah.
they don't care. They don't care. They're snakes. They don't care.
Well, okay, yeah. So she's fighting this bond that seems to be growing between her and Apollo because of her human morals and the way that she was raised. She's like, I can't sleep with your brother. That's fucking weird. I wasn't raised that way. And everyone else is like, that's not how we do things here as Basilisk. You really should sleep with his brother. And
I mean,
there
you
was this
fucked his
weird,
dad.
you had sex with his dad, so why not his brother? And she's like obsessed with his
What?
penis. And he's kind of like the perfect sort of flirty bad boy, right? But there's also the author kind of writes Apollo that they have some really crazy chemistry and connection. And so you kind of get this feeling like Caspin's starting to really go downhill as a character. And you're like, okay, maybe Caspin's gonna die or something, and she's gonna end up with Apollo, and that's why she's writing this the way that she's writing it. And so I
It
was
was
just
it
like,
was it was laid on heavy.
it,
The
it
you might
yeah,
be with Apollo, you might be with a hollow thing.
it was really laid on heavy. And so you're like, okay, so maybe something's going to happen. And she's trying to write Caspin as this negative character so that when he's killed off, you're like not that mad about it. But I was still kind of mad about it. Like, I was like, no, stop doing this to Caspin. I like him. Stop writing him this way. Well, in the end, I I get why she was writing Caspin the way that she was. I was like, okay, I guess I get why she's writing Caspin like this because something's gonna happen. And you like saw his jealousy just like grow and grow, and he's making all these terrible decisions and kind of treating her like shit. And I'm like, stop. I don't want him to treat her like shit. And so I was
Mm.
just like really mad at the author for like the first 60% of the book. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe that's why she's doing the things she does, right? And then all of a sudden, Leo comes back, and there's all this tension with Leo that she cannot, like,
Shake.
she can't follow through with.
She
Because if she
hexed him,
does,
or what was it, hexed? Or
a
vexed.
curse.
No.
It was a curse.
But there was something that they call it when they they bind them.
Oh, the binding. Yeah, it was called a.
Crux?
It
I
was
don't know.
something like Crux, but it's not Crux.
No. The
I mean,
hottest part of this entire book, the hottest
yeah.
part was when she learned how to petrify, and then she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so horny. I gotta resolve this right now." And he was just like, "All right, I'll take care of the business." And she was like, "All right, fine."
Yeah, this book is still incredibly horny.
So it
Um,
is, but I made me cry.
okay, yes. Okay, so let's talk about the crying. So in the first book, super horny, like horniest book of all time. Never read a hornier book. I still don't believe you that there's hornier books out there.
But
I do not believe you. And so, and it was kind of a fun time, plot is definitely fighting for its life. This book, I don't know why, but it just didn't, even though there was still a ton of sex, it just didn't feel quite as horny. Um,
yeah, it didn't. It didn't give
and
me the motor running thing until
it
that
was
one.
not as much. No. There was a lot more darkness in this one. And like I said, first 60% of the book I was ready to throw out the window. And then it started to kind of get good. And she was kind of starting to like really piece everything together. And um then the book ends on one of the most emotionally traumatizing endings that I have ever read. Like almost as crazy and like trauma as Alchemized. I was not prepared for how deeply emotionally this ending wounded me.
For
Like
such
for
a
the
horny
rest of
book,
the
it
day,
really pulled at
I
your
felt
heartstrings.
seriously, for the rest of the day, I walked around like a family member had died. I felt like someone in my life had died, and I was like, I could barely hold it together for the rest of the day. I finished it on my
I mean,
way to work, audiobook, audiobooked it on the way to work, and for the rest of the day, I had to work, feeling like someone in my life had just died. What was that? It was supposed to be a fun, fluffy book.
I didn't. Who said fluffy? That was not even. I am surprised that
Me.
I. You know what was like really got me crying, like the start of crying was whenever he was like, Caspian was like, I need you guys to go fuck right now. And I was like, I was
That's what
laughing.
made you cry?
I was, no, 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 I was
Oh.
laughing. And
Uh-huh.
then he said, do you smell it? And she was like, the decay.
Oh, that part.
Um,
Mm.
and they have like an hour-long sex sesh while everything's crumbling around them.
Okay, that did kind of annoy me. I don't, you know how a lot of people make fun of Sarah J. Maas in Aquawar when Feyre and Rhysand have sex while everyone around them is dying or whatever, and everyone like just makes fun of that. They're like, "How can you be horny when everyone around you is dying and like getting ready to go to war?" That's what this was. Like everything is like crumbling. People are screaming and dying in the hallways, and they're just fucking. I was like, come on, really? You're still gonna be horny right now?
Oh, yeah, as soon as they said that, I was like, I couldn't even. And then, oh my God! And then Amos comes in, and then he's like, oh, Apollo, sorry. Apollo comes in, and he's like, but I love you too. And he kisses her, and I'm like, whoa, whiplash, brother. Yes, I was all about the brother. I was like, get on that dick because
I was,
he's.
I did, okay, I guess first it was the self-sacrificing of Caspin. Like I was not ready for Leo to die, but I was very, very not ready for Caspin to die. Like the self-sacrificing, just trauma. Then I didn't realize at first that when Caspin died, her basilisk side died. I was still kind of confused because I did think, okay, if one of them dies, the other one's gonna die, right? That was the bond. So I was kind of confused on how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because his dad was alive after he killed the mom. So I was like, okay. But when she told us that her basilisk side was dead, and then now she's not going to live a full basilisk life, she's going to just live a regular human life, trauma, dying, crying, weeping on the floor. And then when she goes and basically Apollo, I thought maybe she was going to go live a nice life with Leo and then come back and finish the rest of her long life with Apollo. No, that didn't happen. He's like, bye. Never going to see you again. Weeping, crying on the floor again. And then, did you read the love letter that
I read
Caspin
all of them. I read all of them.
wrote? That was it. That was the cap. That was like, I can't believe this is happening. I don't know.
It
I'm
was
just
bad.
the ending was way more traumatic than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a fun, horny book again.
Stupid.
So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Just read it. I promise this is a real book.
I, I don't know how I feel about it. I, I mean, the ending was for how bad the writing was in general. The ending was one of the best, craziest endings I've ever read.
Kudos.
Kudos. Kudos to you. Yet I don't know. I don't know how to I went from I was gonna give it a 1 to 2 stars to I'm probably gonna give it a 4 star.
I gave it a four. I gave it a four. Yeah. Then
But
after that, I had to go read some Taboo to make up for
oh my
that
gosh.
feeling.
Okay, so then after that, I go and read Game On by Nevessa Allen, thinking that's gonna be a fun, fluffy, dark romance comedy that's gonna get me over this. I feel like someone in my family just died. Um, And no, that one also made me cry. So fuck you, Nevessa Allen, for writing an amazing third book.
Yes. It's not on my list. I don't plan on crying.
Um, but yeah, I probably will do a review or a summary of that book for our Instagram since you're not going to read it. But yeah, I don't know. This book went from like 2 stars to in the first half to 5 stars in the last half. So we're
Hmm.
just gonna give it a 4 star.
4 stars.
4 stars if you can get through the first 60%.
I promise the ending's worth it. Even though we just told you about it, just still read it. I promise it's horny. It's fun.
Uh, all right. That's it. That's all I have to say anymore. I feel like I just talked the whole time again.
It's okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Almost.